Hey guys, Harry here, back again with another Bricklaying vlog. Today we're on the stone, natural stone, mixed sizes. It's not a lot of stone content you see on YouTube. It's got sent to this job today to just finish off this garage. Got about 3 days work on it roughly, depending on how hard I work, because the next day I'll be solo. Today I was one-on-one with the old man. When he heard we were coming here and saw what we were on, I don't think he was too happy about it. That means a lot of lifting for him. It was a pretty good day, to be fair. First day back on the stone after I did a fourth lift a few months ago. I finished the house, 2 houses behind this one. That had 7 windows in it. What a bit of a ball ache that was. But nevertheless, I'd forgot how easy it is when you get on some straight runs on stone. We got there this morning at... Sorry, I'm going to cough quite a bit because I've got a really bad cold. So, hold on a minute, hold on. That's why I sound a bit funny. That's why I sound like I've got my hand over my nose, pinching it. Anyway, so we got there this morning because this site is over an hour away from where I live, especially with how fast my dad drives. It's definitely over an hour. So we got to site this morning. We set off about 7:45 because there's roadworks outside my house, so it's an absolute nightmare getting out of the house on a morning. 3-way traffic light system just delays us an easy 15 minutes. So we set off at 7:45. We got there at about 9 o'clock. Yeah, maybe a couple of minutes before 9. And then I got straight out of the car because it's over an hour journey, so bladder's going nuts on me, just needing a piss. So I had to dive straight out of the car, straight into cabin, signing all that, jazz. Said, oh, I'm here to garage, yada, yada, yada. And up we went. So, forklift driver, and that, we've known him for ages, so he's sound. And plus I was the only bricklayer on site, so, got my gear straight away. I had to hunt for some spot boards, so we had a spot boarding car, but we thought surely there's going to be some spot boards about. And I ended up having to get some plywood, and my old man cut through it with this rusty old saw. So he was doing that for the first half an hour when we got onto the scaffold at about 9:15ish. And then from 9:15 till 10 I was loading stone out because he was sorting up spot boards out, getting all stands set up. I was loading stone out. I loaded about 3/4 of a pack of stone, and then my old man just finished off an extra few pieces while I got building a corner. And then we got another pack straight away up. He loaded that out, ready for his next drop. And then we got another pack after that, and he loaded out about half of that pack, more like 3/4. So, we've had about 2.5 packs of stone loaded out today. I've got obviously some loaded out for the Friday, since this was a Thursday. It's it's been a pretty decent day. Like, got about 11 meters squared of stone in. We're getting £35 a metre for this mixed stone. I don't know whether that's any good or not. I don't know what the rates for stone are, but I've seen a lot of 30 metres, £30 a metres getting thrown around on stone. I don't know what type it is, so I presume some stone is easier to lay than others. I've only ever laid this mixed stone. I've not laid coursing stone or stone where there's only 2 sizes. I've been sort of laying just this mixed stuff. It's pretty nice stuff to work with, to be honest. I've used some of the more sort of like fake stone, and that's it's not quite as nice to lay, to be fair. The natural stuff it's just easier to work with, to be honest. It's heavier, but easier to work with. And plus we're on a garage, so we get a bit extra for pointing internal, so and a little bit extra to book in there. So it's it's not too bad. It's not too bad at all. We had a good day. You know, it was it's sort of best day I've had in a while, actually, considering it were a Thursday. I don't think I've earned over 300 quid, which I earned over that today, which I've not done over 300 quid in a day in probably a week or so, because I've not really had much in the way of work to go at, really, because I've just been doing quite a few days a day work. I've done, you know, bits of boundary walls, but they've all been a bit awkward and just small panels, really, you know. A lot of them didn't have more than 600 bricks in them, so, you know, you're not going to, if you've got, you know, a labourer and your bricklayer with 600 bricks ain't going to pay, you know, you're not going to make much more than day work, depending on how much you're paying your labourer. So yeah, today Old Man did really well, to be fair. He was lifting, you know, he loaded a good 2 packs of stone out for me. You know, got us most of my gear. I only had to sort of knock the gobbo up. We were using pretty old gobbo today. It was 2-day-old ready mix, so we were on this. It got delivered on Tuesday, and we were using it on a Thursday. So I ended up putting about 2 buckets of water into the first tub, and kept having to knock it up. And then second tub that we started on, that was just fucking horrible. So knocked up the first, took up cream off at top, knocked up quite a few buckets full, which we forgot, actually. We forgot to bring us buckets. Old Man said to me, "All right, I'll get some fresh buckets for tomorrow, Harry." Didn't bring them, so obviously we didn't have any buckets there. So I'm gonna have to get some actually out of the garage before I settle down and upload this to YouTube. But so we're using an old 2-litre bottle of water to just keep filling it up from tap, dunking it into the tub, which wasn't a bad idea, to be honest. But we couldn't bucket any gobble, we used it shovel. So you see my Old Man with shovel in his hand, he's shoveling hot gobble onto boards. Luckily garage was bird caged, so that was ideal. Whereas, you know, them trad deck and safety deck and all that is fucking rubbish. You know, it's better having every plot bird caged, scaffold, a lot easier to work with. So heat's got to me a little bit today. I was sweating buckets today, but it wasn't too hot. You know, it was about 21, 22. But just the humidity killed me today. I don't know what is up with me. I just feel proper steaming. You know, when you just can't cool off. I don't know what it is, but you know, when you've been in sun all day, your temper you just get a short temper. It's called like your head baking. You know what I mean? If anyone feels it, you know, comment section. You get, you know, especially if you've been in heat all day, you get like a great short temper. I don't know what it is when you just can't cool off. My head's been, you know, I've been a bit fucking. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's cold. So yeah, I ended up today. I mentioned, you know, how much stone we got in today. I got 6 course on back, 6 course on one at Gables, that's to full height, to wall plate height. So I've got 1 gable left to run in, 6 course, and then up front I've got a lintel to drop on top of a split, and then I've got to put a piece of stone up to that lintel on the split, then with a split on top of the lintel up to the head, and then another piece of stone up to that. So, you know, it's up to that, and then a split off at top. So you've got to sort of do 2 cuts, because where the lintel's like a T, you know, a T RSJ sort of thing, T-shaped RSJ, with a top on it. So your head slides in, but it's got, you know, like a angled, you know, voussoir, you know, stone voussoir type thing. Anyway, whatever you call it, art stone or whatever. So you got to cut the stone like round it, but your stone that you cut round it, you're gonna have like a split cut on the bottom side, and then a stone cut up to the height, the full height, and then you have like a split over the top. So it's like, instead of doing a course of split stone all the way around your garage, you're just losing it in the front. So it's not too bad, you know. So I've only got the gable on the other side to run up onto 6 course, which is wall plate height, and then obviously split to bed on front, lintel on, and then block pillars to do, which is only 900, so that's only 4 quarters of block on each pillar. There's 7 pillars, so 7 4s 28. It's like 30 blocks with one of them having a couple of cuts in them, so about 30, you know, about 30 blocks to do. So if tomorrow, if I can get out of the gable in on my own, which is already loaded, get them block pillars up, and then just bed the split on and the lintel on the Monday, or even if I can't get the lintel on because it's a big one, on the Monday, get a bit of help with the lintel, get the art stone on, and then just run the other gables up, since there's 2 gables on this, and they have like a proper cut up on them, these stone houses. Some of them obviously are hipped, some roofs are hipped, but on the garages they tend to have big cut ups like a lot of the red row sites. This is a red row site also. It's just one that they did with stone. So it's it's a pretty good, they're pretty good earners, to be fair. If I could recommend stone to anyone, it'd be definitely to either solo bricklayers or one-on-one. With 2 of you, I think you'd have a bit of trouble, loading out effectively, because you can see I'm always walking away from wall to find the right piece. Because ideally on stone you don't want to put any smaller than a 6-inch piece in, but 8-inch piece really. You don't want any smaller than an 8-inch piece, but you end up having to put small pieces in. Sometimes just break your bond up. It's minimum 4-inch lap on your stone, but sometimes I get 3-inch. I'm a little bit. I sneak in a few little small pieces here and there. Some little little joints, little zip joints sometimes, but it's just one of them. You can't always be dead perfect with these, because a lot of the time you just haven't got the variety of stone at your disposal. You're just having to work with what you got, and you can get some really massive pieces of like 600-700 long stone, sometimes up to 800 long, which they're great. You can really get some gables up quick with them massive pieces. So if you're willing to get a few packs on the loading bay, get someone loading out in front beforehand and get all your massive pieces and a few small ones there, it's ideal for earning some big money. But it's having the right labourer to load it all out. Like my old man, he loads out a lot of different sizes, but sometimes, he just hasn't got the volume of packs. A lot of the time, a lot of gangs will just fuck off all them small pieces, and then they'll send that pallet up to me, or they'll send, they'll find a load of fucking old crappy bits of stone and then send them up. And a lot of the time, if I'll pick it up, I'm going to use it. You'll find a lot of the time I walk off to get like a big piece if I need something to really span the wall and to break the bond up. But a lot of the time I just pick up little pieces and shove them in, make them work. But you always want to put a piece that fits as you're walling. Don't be putting pieces in front to split the bond, or like get 4-inch lap each side and cutting a piece in between. That really kills your time. If you're going to cut a piece, make sure you just cut a piece as you go, or you find a piece that fits. A lot of the time, like I say, ideal for one-on-ones, because you can have the labourer passing you the pieces of stone you need in between filling boards up, which is ideal. Obviously my old man, he does best he can, bless him, but there's sometimes where he's just not able to get everything right there and then where I need it. Like today, for instance, he did a bit of jointing, but he struggles to joint the stone. He don't like the fact it's not uniform, and it's a little bit it's a little bit pleasing to eye sort of thing on stone with pointing, because we use a really small barrel of the barrel jointers, the thinnest one they do. And he didn't really like it as much, so I ended up doing a lot of the jointing today. I jointed more or less all the front of the back, and some of the back of the backside, and then I did all the front and back of the gable, my son, and he just pointed a few of my corners, I think. Since he wasn't keen on doing it, which, if a lot of labourers just won't point up anyway, so it's one of them things. If you're a proper oddie, you will do, but it is hard finding someone who is right there and then to get you everything as you need it. Like I spent a lot of time knocking gobble up and putting it on my boards, myself. So it just, little things that take the time away from your laying. You've got to sort of factor that in. So if you've got a labourer and you're still having to help him out all the time, you've got to really say, you should be doing this. At the end of the day, a labourer should be working as hard as you are. The only reason the bricklayer's getting paid more is because he's doing the skillful, all the thinking, the skillful part of laying it. And the labourers, you're setting it all up and organising it all, so the labourer can just feed you, gear and gobbo. So it's one of them. I'm still doing really well, even with old man with me. Struggle as he does, he does 3 days. So I just say to him, 3 days you work with me, get a good night's sleep, don't be drinking. Because, after what happened on Tuesday, I lost a day's working effect there, which, I wasn't bothered about because I had tons to do. But, it's then it just, it puts the pressure on for Thursday, Friday. You're really going to get some down. Like today, I thought when I came originally, I thought, this is maybe a bit of day work. There's not probably enough work on this garage, and I thought at first there was only 4 courses all the way around, and I could have got that done in day, booked in measure, and just said, right, I ain't got enough, someone else will have to finish it, or someone, or I'll have to, I might only have 2 days work there, whereas it turned out there's 6 course, and then the Gables to take up, since the proper cut-ups, so I could do that, just keep racking them back as high as I can reach. So, there's easily 3 days work there. My plan is, obviously, like I said earlier, get lintel on, pillars up, gable, stone all done, and then on Monday just put the heads on and then just rack the gables back enough to just cover his wages for the day, really. Don't think I'll be killing my son on the Monday, obviously, depending on if England win or not. I'll probably watch the final. I'm not a big football fan at all, but I used to watch it a lot in pub. So yeah. When it comes to stone, today's topic, we're just a little bit general really today. I'm absolutely cream crackered. So today's beer of choice, Desperado. I went to Tesco's today, £5 for 3, tight bastards. But if there's any little tips I could say when doing stone, spread one, lay one. Maybe in winter when it's really wet weather and you've got wet stone, you might have to spread for quite a few. But in this hot weather, spread one, lay one. Same as Salcon blocks. You won't believe it, but this sandstone really sucks the moisture out of mortar. I don't personally put any grooves in the spread anymore. I just put a really thin spread on the stone, and just always be grinding on this stone. You always want to be tight joints, tight perps. A lot of the time the stone can have like a rounded head on it, so where your head joint will be, a lot of the time you just tip in the head joint because the centre's full of stone. So thin perps, ideally you want 7-8 mil perps as opposed to 15-20 mil perps. No worse than big perps on stone. So really nice tight perps. Bed joints tight as well. Wet mortar as well. You want your mortar wet in summer, and also in winter as well. You don't want your mortar over stiff in winter, because depending if your stone's dry, wet stone's a different matter. Obviously if your stone's wet, it's not going to go off for ages, so you can leave it till end of day to point a lot of the time with wet stone. But dry stone, like what I was using a lot of the time, you want your mortar wet, nice even spread, but I don't put a furrow in it, to be honest. I just spread one, lay one. Easier to grind, easier to press down the stone. You don't have to bang it as much. It's just easier in general, and just get used to what sizes the stone is that's coming in the packs. If the mixed packs, just have a look at the pack, go through all the sizes, memorise what sizes every bit of stone is, and then get used to just seeing what'll fit, and get used to having your tape on your side, hooked on your pocket, or like I do. If you've got a tool belt, you can put it there, but I like to hook it, quickly extend it, little 5 metre standard one, see what the size is, and instantly you can look and see which, memorise which size stone's which. a lot of the time you can just see what you can get in your head, what size this piece of stone looks like, and that's the biggest thing to make you increase your speed on stone. When it comes to loading out the stone, I just recommend stacking it one on top of the other. I loaded out all this, my old man loaded out all the stone on that wall that's behind this garage on the other gable, so that'll be saved my back quite a bit. Obviously tables helped tremendously here. Can't explain how much tables helped. I'm using a manual riser for one of the boards, but the rest were tables. As you can see, me walk over to exactly the piece you need to pick up. It's picking up the right piece every time, which makes you the money. If you're picking up the wrong piece all the time or always cutting, you're not making money. Pick up the piece that'll fit, and then that's what's gonna make it quick. Ideally, you should have all your sizes stacked out together, so you're never umming and ahhing for a piece. You always know which one's gonna fit. You want all your sizes stacked together, ideally. But a lot of labourers won't do it. My old man just stacks them up, however, and to be honest, I do as well. The packs don't come with a variety. They should. Depending on what sort of what site you're on, sometimes they only have 2 sizes. Sometimes they just have 1 size, and you just half bond them all. But minimum 4-inch lap. Ideally, no smaller than an 8-inch piece in the wall. Ideally, biggest pieces the better. Sometimes no bigger than a 6-inch. So, you ideally want 3 to 4-inch lap at all times. Ideally 4-inch, but sometimes you can get away with 3-inch. You know what I mean? If in a pinch. But make sure you put a big piece over the top, break that bond right up, and take your eye away from. You don't want to be zipper jointing after zipper jointing. So yeah, that's it. That's today's video, guys. Obviously feeling rough as hell. After this video, I'm gonna probably throw myself in a cold shower. Just can't shed the heat today, guys. I don't know what it is. Mrs. has left the windows shut today downstairs, so house is heated up. So yeah, keep hydrated. That's one thing I've sort of neglected the last couple of days with heat. It's a bit of rain and I forget to drink anything. So yeah, I'm going to do some more recording tomorrow as well. Record the other gate, record me building a corner. I've got a bit of footage at the end of this video with me going through some techniques of how I plumb this stone, this natural stone. Obviously it only has 1 machined edge. And obviously the face, you can't plumb your face. You have to plumb your machined edge and line into your existing stone, or use your blockwork to measure if you're on a plot. That's what I do. Or line your corners in with a line. So it's ideal to carry around some tingles when you're on this stone, but I just cut a little bit of stone with a hammer and chisel. Use that as a little mini stone brick to trap the line. But a lot of the time, as I said in the last video, as I said earlier in the video, when I'm using when I'm building a corner, ideally you want to just be building like a 2 or 3 course corner, and then flicking your line up to your corner arris, which you've plumbed from your machined edge, like I'll explain later on in the video, and then use your line from each side of the garage. For this instance, it's double garage, but use your line to show you your plumb, instead of a lot of the time you can eye it in, but I'd rather you build it sort of a little bit out of plumb inwards than outwards, because it's easier to tap your stone out than it is to tap your stone in. So that's one thing that I'd recommend. Obviously I do range my stone right down to my first course to get my plumb point, but a lot of the time if you don't have a cavity wall to plumb off, you're relying on your line. So you want to plumb from your end arris ideally, and then just line it down with the line across. Like when I build these gables up higher on Monday, I'm going to bring my profiles in. I've got a couple of profiles. I ain't got any F-clamps, so I'm going to order some on Prime this weekend, I think. I might set a couple of profiles up, I'm not sure, but I might just set a couple of profiles to that machined edge, boom, run it in without having to build any corners. I left my profiles on other job hidden, so and my F-clamps, which we're coming to the end of the life. So I think this weekend, on Friday, I think, on tomorrow, I think I'm going to order some F-clamps on Prime, get them delivered, and use the profiles Monday to run in them Gables. Obviously, setting them profiles up to that machined edge. Obviously, it don't matter about plumbing, long ways. You just want to be plumbing your face way. So that's one way you can do it. Obviously, if you're building houses, little aluminiums banged on. And yeah, so coming to the last few clips now. I'm going to be ordering action camera set, as I said, in the next couple of weeks. I keep saying that, but I mean, I'm actually going to order it. Birthday's in a week, so getting that for my birthday. And well, I'm buying it myself, but it is what it is. Getting my own birthday present, as you do as an adult. I'm not a big fucking birthday person. Turning 26, fucking hell, who gives a fuck? I'd rather be fucking turning 16. Go back in time. But yeah, it's something different, for channel Stone. If you guys got any questions, leave them in comments. I'll be able to get back to you, within a couple hours. If you leave a comment, I always see notifications pop up. Also, if anyone's got any questions about any specific, type of, if you're looking to get into laying stone, if you've never laid it before, if you can lay bricks, you can lay stone. It's dead easy. It just takes a little know-how, a few pointers to know how to, lay it. Like at the end of the video, I did talk about dressing stone. What dressing is, it's basically creating a stone effect with your chisel. So obviously you can see the corners of the garage. All the corners look, like a machined, bit of stone, like natural stone. But what makes that face is a machine makes the face. So it's naturally occurring stone, but the machine makes that face, and you've got to basically make that face with your chisel on your heads, on the head joint that's sticking out, obviously, on your returns. So I'll make a video dressing stone tomorrow, just showing you how I dress stone. Pretty damn easy, just 15mm back from your end head arris, all the way around the stone. Boom, make a little Toblerone mountain piece. So dead easy really, but it's just something that not a lot of guys on YouTube. I don't think there's any guys laying stone on YouTube. I think they were popular and making videos on tips there. So I'm going to make a few tips about laying stone, because it's a little bit of a lost art in a sense. There's not a lot of guys like laying stone. Guys you talk to guys who lay bricks, a lot of them say they don't like stone, which I understand. And then you talk to guys who lay stone and say they don't like laying bricks. So there's a big skill gap there in a sense. Guys who can lay stone, they make it look easy. But then guys who lay stone and try laying bricks, it's like watching apprentices sometimes. So it's if you can learn to lay stone and you're already laying bricks, it's just an extra feather to your cap. You're also a stone mason other than a brick mason. There's different types of stone. There's sort of coursing stone where you're laying stone to a set course measurement, but you've got mixed styles of stone. So this is 150mm stone, so this is all cut to 150mm in gauge. So it's easy to work, obviously, to it's only 2 course of bricks, so it's easy to keep your gauge on. Whereas there's different types of stone that's completely natural non-gauge stone, which that takes more effort. And then there's like dry stone walls that you can either have dry stone with mortar walls or just dry stone without mortar, and they're a skill in itself. You're sort of building more of a pyramid rather than a plumb wall. If you're doing dry stone wall, you want to get like some dry stone walling profiles to give you the shape of the stone wall. And I've watched dry stone. I've not done any dry stone walling myself, but I've watched a lot of guys do it, and it looks dead simple. It looks dead simple with some practice. It's one of them things you probably get good at the more you did it. But it's more primitive in a sense. It takes a lot less skill than laying bricks. It just takes, it's more of an artist, it's all artistic, you know, so if you're more of an artistic kind of guy, probably going to like stone better. I like stone, I like making things look nice. I'm not as much of an X's and O's sort of guy, I'm more of a just go with it, make it look nice. So it's one thing I probably want to get into in in maybe 10 years or so. I might try taking on a few dry stone walling jobs, but a lot of the time they pay per metre, so I wouldn't really like to be on price for the first time doing it, but I think I could do it. I think I could do it fucking pretty easy, to be honest. A lot of times shoving pebbles against the pebbles and making the fucking pebbles stay there. You know, obviously there is methods to it to make it easier. But especially dry stone walls with mortar in between, God, I could piss those. You know, obviously if you're not putting any mortar in between, there's more technique there. But especially dry stone walls with mortar in between. If you know, sometimes a dry stone wall looks dry on the outside, a lot of times they just brush all the mortar out of it, and that's a lot easier to do than just pure dry stone walling. So anyway, guys, that's today's video. If you enjoyed, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and now you can listen to me talk about how to build a corner freehand with stone, without profiles, without anything fancy. Yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Done much recording today because I'm running out of battery, but if anyone's wondering how to build a corner out of stone, obviously same bond applies as before, but you want to follow your machined edge, so level to your machined edge all the way up to your next straight edge, which is there, and then there we are, line in your machined edge at the top, which has come from the factory. And you know, you're pretty much there. Don't worry about a couple of mil here and there. Same with your machined edge on your corner, both plumb points. And then when it comes to your rack back, you're using your eye a lot here. But what you can do is to give yourself a little guide and to make sure all arises are touching level. You see them a little bit out there, just move it over. And when you get your first course with a line, you want to just always string your line from your plumb arist, and then just move that first piece of stone out to the line, and then you won't go far wrong there. As you can see there, where I did the similar thing down to my first course. Also, if you can see here, I've got a piece of stone that isn't got a straight arris on it. I've put a little mark with a trowel, and that I can mimic with the chisel. So I can just chisel that little face off, dress it, and then it'll look straight like the rest of the stone to give it a nice straight arris finish.